What's happening, Facebook? Good to see you guys. I'm here with Mr. Jamie Hinckley. We both just got back from vacation.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we just got back. We were down in Florida.
Not together.
Not together. Yeah, we were down in Florida together. No, we were down in my family and I were down last week. I apologize for the rerun that we did last week. We did not plan on doing a rerun. Yeah, I just did not come in here and record an episode like I said I was going to. So taking some accountability there. You were down. Tell me, you were down with your family. How was that? Awesome?
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You go down there with 3 kids, and awesomeness comes in waves.
Yeah.
But they had a blast. I mean, we did 4 different theme parks in 3 days, so everybody was pretty exhausted on the way home.
How'd your wife love it?
Oh yeah, she's craving more. We didn't want to come back, especially to the mess that we're looking at.
That's what I said the same thing. So we went down to Florida. I think we left. Boy, I don't know. My days are all messed up. We left about a week and a half ago, and we got down there, and it was just beautiful. 80 degrees, just sunny, amazing. We took the kids to Disney. We had a lot of fun taking the kids to Disney. Mike Escalera, my good friend, is watching right now. He's actually down with his kids in Disney, and it's kind of like a pride thing. All our Keystone people are down in Disney. It makes you feel good.
Everybody's like taking turns going down.
Everybody's taking
turns.
turns.
Leave the office empty all at once. So.
No, we can't leave the office empty all at once, and so we take turns. But no, we took the kids to Disney. It was amazing. I'd say the Animal Kingdom was an absolute blast, and you got to see a lot of cool stuff. Got to do the safari, saw some giraffes. They sell beer there. I was happy about that.
My personal favorite part.
My favorite part. And you could walk around and see a lot of stuff. And then when we went, so it wasn't bad. We went to the Magic Kingdom. Ooh, that was a bit of a clusterfuck.
Sorry, Disney.
Well,
it was fun. It was, but there's so many people.
If I go back, this is what we're going to do. If I go back, we're going to plan out everything. Like, I'm not a plan person. I'm a wing it person.
Did that. My wife is a planner.
You can't wing it in Disney.
She had everything to a T. You had to get up at this time, be there at this time to get in. Character breakfast, which was really cool. The kids got to really enjoy their time there, but just the hordes of people.
Yeah. It was like herding cattle.
Yeah.
And they messed up my food, which I'm big on food. Like, I'm kind of, I'm thicker. I like food. You don't mess with a thick guy's food, a fat guy's food. So they messed my food up, made me kind of sad. But so, hey, we got an awesome time. You happy to be back?
Yeah, I'm jazzed to be back. I wish there wasn't any snow, but
I know it.
I can deal. I'm in Michigan.
I know it, but it's running long this year.
Yeah, it is, but yeah, we had a mild winter.
I see Eric on here, Eric Podbilski. He's on with us next week, and he owns a lawn care or a plowing company, so I'm sure he's excited to see the snow.
Yeah, we're supposed to get like 4 to 8 inches, something like that.
4 to 8 inches. I apologize for the coughing, guys. I don't know what's come over me. I see my buddy Chad's on here, too. I just met with Chad a little bit ago. I was coughing through our meeting, and now I've been coughing on here. I've been coughing bad, and so I even took a shot of Hennessy, not that to try to burn whatever I'm coughing out of my system. So if I'm coughing all the way through here, I apologize. We got a pretty awesome show. So Mike Escalera, we love bringing the fire on Tuesdays. Next week, it is on Monday, guys. We have a meeting down with Aetna in Lansing next Tuesday. So we are going to do it next Monday. If you guys are on the podcast, make sure you like and share it. And we got something cool. So Mike Escalera and I, it's awesome that he's on here. We are on, we're part of Damon On Demand. So Damon John has this on-demand series. It's a virtual training platform, and I had, just like I did last week, I had a bunch of notes. I was going to get on here. I was going to just like rain some information on you guys like I did the week prior and just overload your fucking dome full of business stuff. But then I come across this one sheet, and it's always good to have my co-pilot on here. But if I have too much information, he doesn't get to talk very much. Right, and so I try to. We got this one on here though. It's the success formulas, and it's a success scorecard. There's 8 topics on here, and there's 8 topics why businesses don't succeed or why businesses fail. And so we're gonna go through all these topics. I got a couple of interesting facts that I want to drop on you prior to getting into this. I might even need it. I'm like coming down with a cold as we're on this live stream. I don't know what's going on. So. Pretty awesome statistic I want to drop on you guys. 65% of millionaires today are new money millionaires. Have you seen me post a status before? You've seen the stats. So 65% of millionaires there, new money millionaires. That means they came from absolutely zero family money. That's fucking awesome, right? 65% of all millionaires that are out there.
We kind of grew up thinking that all these millionaires and all the rich people in the world are pretty much, they come from that inherited wealth. And it's funny to see that because it's really not the case at all. I mean, far less than half. So.
Well, and right. And by the new money millionaires, they actually say entrepreneurs or business startups are, they contribute for over 70% of the 65% of new money millionaires. That should give you guys a lot of motivation to start your own business or do your own thing. Eric, we're having Eric on next week. He's a really, really successful, he's got a really successful business in our local area, and we'll talk about more of what he does. But that's what we're going for. We want that success, that drive, that, people that are going above and beyond in our local area, but not even in our local area, but just in Michigan in general, trying to get them on, tell their story. And the cool part about it is I love is I get to watch it. Jamie's going through this right now. Where you started first couple of years were rough, and now he's going. What do you want to tell people what you're on track for?
Well, all right. So far this year, anyway, and I'm always hopeful, but so far this year, I'm on track to break $100,000.
107.
$107,000. That's 7,000.
Ah, my man, though, dude. I'm excited about it.
On track, and that's exciting. That's more money.
Yeah.
So, all doing good things for people, all the better,
Right. And we don't, we don't put that on there. I don't, have Jamie tell you about what he's making to brag by any means. Guys, it's encouraging, right? It's motivating. It's inspirational to see people in our local. This is going to happen all night, just so you know. To see people in our local area succeeding and doing well. And so find motivation within it. We saw, I won't get into that right now. So let's jump right into these. We're going to try something. I don't know if Mike, do you know how this is going to go? So we're going to try to put some stuff on the board as we're talking about it. If it doesn't work, I apologize, but we're going to try to do it. So we got 8 topics. That's really loud. Oh, all right. We got 8 topics. I'm going to run through these topics really, really quickly, and then we're going to hit one, and we're going to dive in detail in each one of them. And so the 8 reasons that businesses don't succeed in the plan that you want to get together to, start succeeding or help is, 1, have a good idea, product, or service. We're going to jump into these. I just want to give you guys a quick highlight. Market demand. What does your market demand look like? What does the atmosphere look like? Business plan. And then separate from a business plan, a lot of people, what they don't think about is a marketing strategy or a marketing plan as well. We're going to touch on that. We almost should have throw Rob in here. Capital startup, execution of a plan. So executing your business plan. Ability to stay on track and make adjustments, and mentors. These are the 8 areas that really, really contribute to success in a business. Not all businesses. You can do it on your own. You know what I mean? Like a lot of my companies have been started with pen and scratch paper and just writing stuff down as we fuck it up and trying to learn from it. Right?
You always learn from mistakes, right? And sometimes that's just the way it is. You have to learn on. And everything always goes to plan. Definitely agree with that.
Well, I'll tell you, in business, nothing ever goes as planned. If things go as planned, you should be on the lookout for it starting to mess up. So,
all
right.
Everybody's got.
Oh, geez. So let's dive right into it. So what we have here, I'm going to show you this. It's not that big of a deal. So this is a part of our Damon On Demand, a success formula. I think it's pretty awesome. This has the characteristics, and then next to it, for each part, it has just a rate of 1 through 10. I'm gonna get sued for putting this on here without. I'm advertising. Get Damon On Demand. There we go. Fixed. So, anyways, they have a scale 1 through 10 on here, and then you go through and you mark how your business plan is. But I want to dive really deep into each one of these, and so when I have a couple of these that are my absolute favorite. But when we're on here, so the biggest one is having a good idea, product, or service, right? When we started Keystone, we came to the market with a good product already. Right? We had companies like Aetna, Cigna, so we knew we'd be able to market them very well. And then our service is like second to none. And then we knew that there was a calling, there was a kind of like a need for agents in our area. And I use Keystone as an example. What, I mean, you did plumbing for a while. You owned your own plumbing thing. How can you relate to like starting your own business and getting into your own business, having that good idea, that good product, that good.
Well, for the years I ran that, it's very, very similar to Keystone in that there was a need for. So we would go in and a lot of the times end up fixing other people's fuck ups. Or do-it-yourselfers who went in there thinking they knew everything, and you discover quickly that a caulk gun doesn't fix everything. But it comes right down to that, and Keystone's not much different. I mean, there are agents around, but there aren't any agents around to do necessity that we. People don't care as much. I'm not trying to call anybody out. I'm just saying, step up your game because we're gonna wreck you all.
This isn't meant to be a massive plug for Keystone, but we do hold service a lot higher than what a lot of other agencies do, and I believe that's a really, really important point. Is that service? You know, I mean, you can have. We'll talk about systems a little bit. You can have an absolutely amazing idea, an amazing product, and if you have shit service, you're not going to have those repeat customers. I'm going to hit on a little quote right here. Hang on. So Damon John says, people don't buy what you do. People buy why you do it and how you do it, right? So people don't buy what you do. There's people out there offering insurance everywhere in our local area. There's a bunch of them. They buy why we do it and how we do it. Bringing the passion, the level of passion that we have, and bringing our customer service is literally unbeatable. And so when we talk about that, you can apply that to any industry whatsoever. And, I actually have a thing on here for my S&R Outdoor Services. We deliver firewood. Now, yes, people need firewood, right? You have to have it, but a lot of people provide firewood. Heck, Lucky's, we're not a competitor of Lucky's at all. We're not nearly as big as Lucky's, but Lucky's delivers firewood, and they're right down the road from us. And people still come to us year after year after year because we deliver on point. We're always there. We call if we're late, and our service is on cue, right, to make people want to come back. And I think that's extremely important to understand is that one of my companies, I'm actually getting ready to, we're launching into, we're actually trying to get a little out of the service market. We're trying to do more for idea and product and less service. It has to do with our, but because we're kind of experimenting with it, you still need a level of service. But as far as like Keystone goes, that's a lot of times that we've trumped our competition is simply from service. And like I said, you said that even with caulk, right? Or in the plumbing, caulk doesn't fix everything. You got to service the people and help them. And I think that's important. Meeker, don't you agree with service? Oh yeah, he agrees.
Get the same thing anywhere, but you can't get our service anywhere. Like Abby, been on the show with me here before, standing agent, and she cares about her clients in a way I've never seen anybody care about clients.
I know it. I got to tell Abby sometimes there's a difference between customer service and social working. Because and that's not bad. She wears her heart on her sleeve and she cares a tremendous amount about her clients. That's what's going above and beyond. And so any level, guys, no matter where you're at, don't just take this for the insurance industry. Anywhere you're going, we're just talking about it because it's relevant. Even with next level, right? So Lorenzo, oh my God, he's so meticulous. It's annoying. Like he pays attention to every single detail. Sometimes he'll call me over shit. I'm like, Lorenzo, no, come on, man. The other day he called me over $2. He called me over 5 cents one day. Called me over 5 cents one day. And so he's very, very meticulous. But what I'm getting at again is that his service, his skill set is unparalleled in the industry. And so you guys make sure when you get into something that you have a great idea, an amazing product, and good service. And then what we do is, as good practice, rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. And don't be biased. Don't be like, oh, I got a 10 product. Because the reality is you probably don't have a 10 product. Now, I think Jatango, Rob Sapp, is a 10 product. Tango's a 10.
It is pretty awesome. And like nothing I've ever seen before.
We're pumped to launch it. You guys are all going to be hearing about Jatango real soon. It's going to be on every news network that you turn on the TV. Preaching Jatango. I don't know what 8 means. 8 news networks? I don't know what that means. Oh, you gave Jatango an 8. Oh, Oh shit, that hurt. All right, it's a 10. It's a 10.
We have to talk about that later.
All right, and it's all right though. It's all right though. So let's talk about this too. So let's get it right to the next thing. So we do have it on here. That's cool. I'm just seeing this on the board. So market demand. Do you have a demand in your market to start a business? A lot of people overlook this. People think that another example, Next Level Performance, like we do retail radio stuff. Radio is fucking dead. Like we had to bring in the service and the labor and all those other things because there's not a big market demand for people just to go buy radios. Very small. Now, here's what's important. Part of the training on there is that Ryan can't count. Shut up. So part of the training on there is that you can still succeed even with low market demand, but it's much harder to do it and it takes a longer amount of time. You have to be willing to go a longer period without any profitability.
When it comes to that, well, I mean, what can you do?
When you got into doing your plumbing, that's the only thing I know, outside of Keystone that you did for a while, other than
Avon.
Avon.
Yeah, what?
When you got into plumbing, why'd you do it?
I got out of it because I wanted to start my own business. Wanted to try something new. I happened at the time to be working with a guy who was a master plumber. I had business background. It was got together, started a company, and did okay there for quite a while. It's not nearly as poopy.
I would expect
it. Really isn't most of the time. The times that it is, though, it really.
I remember one time I was. This was before I ever got into investments or health and life insurance, and there's a gentleman named Harold LaFon, and he's an amazing plumber. He's a plumber. He's an amazing plumber in our local area. Does really, really good work. He was getting ready to hire somebody, and I was with him and one of his main guys, and I can't think of his name for the life of me right now. And he asked me, he goes, how much do I have to pay you to go and fix people's shitty toilets and get human feces on your hands? What do I have to pay you? And I'll never forget my answer because this tells me where I was at in life. This was like 6 years ago. I said, $10 an hour. $10 an hour and I'll do it. Right. But that tells you, like, I was willing, like, boy, I needed to work. I needed to grind. And like, I have a job and we'll hire you. What is it gonna, you know what I mean? What is it gonna take to get you started? And they're probably pleasant.
Funny you bring that up because that was something that we used to say to clients. Somebody would balk at the price and would say, well, how much would you need to be paid for playing my toilet?
Right.
You know? And that would quiet them down really quickly because they see the value at that point. Find them like it because I'm doing what you don't want to.
Right.
And we brought it the same way we do it. Time there was any other issue afterward, we'd come right back in. It was just tried our best to carve our niche in the market. Here, there's a ton of other plumbers in this area.
Well, and that's it too, and that goes right back to the service thing. Is that if you can stand to do it for so long, for a decent period of time, and prove kind of your worth in the marketplace, because you're getting into a place where one, there's a high demand, but two, there's a lot of people out there doing it. It's like lawn care, right? There's people out there doing lawn care everywhere, but if you stay doing it, doing a good job, and you continue to do well, and you bring that level of service, eventually people are going to continue to use you, refer you, and you're going to be able to build a wonderful, successful company based on the principles that you started in the beginning. Yeah. So when you go through that too, again, be real with yourself and say, is there market demand for it? What is the market demand? Again, plug this shit all day long because we are about to launch. Tango, 10. What do you got, Meeker? Oh, come on. It's a 10, dude. All day long. Everybody and their brother. Dude, you ain't gonna be able to.
I'm interested to hear his criticism.
I know it. I want criticism. 10 in Asia. That's a good point. Maybe give it like an 8 in America and a 10 in China or something. Yeah. All right. I see your point. I hear you. I'm listening. So, market demand. You got to know your market. I'll tell you right now, guys, when we got into Next Level with the radio, like opening shop for selling radios and selling car accessories, that was literally like a fucking 1 on the market demand. Okay. 1 is bad. 10 is good. And so it was the one on market demand. And so we had to do a lot of other things to implement us staying busy and stay going. But now we've created a company where, depending on the week, it makes good money. This week it did not. All right, just so I felt that one in my pocket. As I sit here, my pocket, my left side is getting lower. They didn't make enough money. But that's business, guys. You have good weeks, you have bad weeks. You have to have a good mental prep for that because it's not all fucking butterflies and rainbows in business. Right? You have bad weeks plumbing?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You have bad weeks with investments?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to take the bad with the good. Part of it. Part of the reason we get into these type of jobs or you start your own business is for freedom, but with that freedom comes some doubt. It's not going to be just get off your butt and run and you go. There's a fight every step along the way. Carve out that niche for the service. You have to have these 8 points. You have to be right on top of them.
Yeah, you have to have them. So here's one that I really like. So our third one down is business plan. So business plan has like a double meaning, and we're going to talk about this. This is really cool. Jamie took classes in college, right? In college for business plan classes to teach you how to do a business plan. Myself, every company that I have, I lose track of how many I have now. We got some pretty exciting news coming about DarkSide too. You guys will have to stay tuned for that. But every business plan that I've ever had, we've literally just written it down on paper, just, scratched it down, and that's the way that we've done it. But you have to know steps A to Z, right? If you know what the end result of your business plan looks like, we talked about this 2 weeks ago. Know what your business smells like. Know what the carpet looks like. Know what the windows look like. Know what your signs look like. Imagine the shit before you ever have it. Make sure you breathe it and live it and make it yours, right?
I mean, you have to nurture it like a baby. Or grow up stupid. I don't know where I was going with that.
So you do, but here's something that I want to touch on. Who do you think a business plan is for? And if you know the answer, just play along with me. Who do you think a business plan is for?
Plan for everybody. It's for you to get your ass on track and keep everything together. It's for any possible investors you have, for your potential market. It's for everybody involved. They all need to be aware. It's got to be precise and well put together plan.
I agree. So I put in the Damage On, and you guys, I'm curious to know what you guys think too, what a business plan is, or what it's for, but I'm going to tell you right now. So on there, it gave me a couple options. What do you think a business plan is for? And what I put is to keep a goal-oriented timeline on things I need to do, and that's the answer I chose. But that's not it. A business plan is not even for you. It's your idea. It's your baby, right? That you put on paper, that you put down. And then once you structure that on paper, it's used to inspire the people that you're trying to get to come on board with you. If you have an amazing business plan and Meeker's going to be an investor, he's got a lot of money. I go to Meeker. I want my business plan to be so good that he's inspired to be part of it. I want my business plan to be so good that my strategic partner over here, Jamie, he's inspired to be part of it. Even if I don't have the capital to bring Jamie on, he loves it so much that he says, Ryan, I see value in your business plan to such a point where I want to come on board free of charge and bring my skill set, right? And you want to do that with everybody. You want your employees, when you hire 2 or 3 employees, you want your business plan, you want your model, your value statement to be so powerful that they're inspired by that. They see the future by it, right? And they want to work there because they know that on some level they could be running a branch or being a manager. And so the answer is it's for it's to inspire everybody, right? It's nice. It keeps track of everything. It's good. It does a lot of things, but the main one is to inspire. So we're raising money for Jatango right now, and we've almost raised all the money we've needed. But without that business plan to get them intrigued, to get our investors intrigued, we would have no investors. If I just said, hey, I got this app called Jatango. It does this and this and this. You want to invest?
That's not the best pitch.
Right. You got to have a really good business plan. And so make sure your business plan is good. And here's another thing that I'll tell you. I'm gonna skip ahead just for a brief second on execution of plan. And I'm just going to touch on this for a moment because they go hand in hand. Business plan and execution of plan. We're going to come back to execution of plan. Most people are fucking scared to tell you their plan without an NDA or something. Meeker and I have had this conversation. I've signed an NDA for Meeker. He's done one for me. And we share our ideas. But sometimes when you get in front of opportunity, when you get in front of somebody you know can take you somewhere, the last thing that should come out of your mouth is, I don't want to tell you without an NDA, because the reality is that person probably has all the fucking goods to take you to market, right? To somebody successful. And so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain by being open and not being worried. Now there's snakes out there, don't get me wrong, but they're the minority, not the majority. When opportunity meets preparation, shit happens, right? Like I prep so hard. I know this plan's so good that I'm in front of one person and I got one fucking shot ever. And I pitch him this amazing business plan with no NDA, and he's so excited about everything that he calls me the next week, or he gets my info and he takes my info, and we continue to start working together. So don't be afraid of that shit. If you have an amazing plan, make sure that you fucking share it with the world, but do it correctly. Don't put it on Facebook. I'll steal your idea.
That's non-disclosure agreement for the kids at home.
All right. For NDA.
Right? Yeah, NDA.
All right, my bad. Yeah, an NDA, non-disclosure. Meaning you can't talk about my plan with other people, or you can't take it and go start it on your own. I could sue you. That's what it gets.
Boy, it got nasty and fast, didn't it? That's necessary.
I'll steal your plans if you put them on Facebook. Ooh. And if you take mine, I'll sue you. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I come out wrong. No. Well, it didn't come out wrong. But you know what I mean? There's a time and a place for everything. Right. So let's move on to this. Meeker, I almost want you to chime in on some of this. I know that you're not on camera or anything right now, but a lot of people don't think about after they have their business plan. We talked about this at the end of my talk 2 weeks ago. After you have this business plan, when you take it to market, how are you going to make noise? How are you going to let people know who the fuck you are? Right? Obscurity is the number one reason small businesses fail. What is obscurity? Let's just readdress this for 1 second. It's people not knowing who you are and what you offer fast enough to sell services, right? People need to know who you are and what you offer so you can take your shit to market. What's up, Mr. Woodring? We got to get you on here one day too, Cody. Cody's killing it right now. M&K Garage, M&K, they're doing good. They do all sorts of shit. You got ATV, four-wheeler, snowmobile, take it to these guys. You're going to teach me how to do drop shipping too. But what I'm getting at is business plan is part of it, but how are you going to take your business to market? It is a marketing plan. You have to have a marketing plan. And not only a marketing plan, but I don't know shit about marketing. I know that I can get stuff on Facebook, and Facebook is confusing to me. I called Rob to my office the other day to help me do it. There's an ad running right now, some of you might have seen, for S&R Outdoor Services for the bounce houses. Have you seen that ad?
I have.
Okay. I don't know how to do those ads at all, right? And so Rob come down to my office and did it with me. So how important is marketing for a startup, Meeker? It's as important as oxygen.
That's a great way to put it.
Listen, I know. I agree with you. I agree. See, he's a man of few words, but he knows his shit. It is, and you hear it from, Meeker does marketing over here, and he runs a lot of stuff at Ugly Badger. And the importance of that is marketing is as important as oxygen. If people don't know who you are in a timely manner and the services you render, you are going to fucking fail, right? Unless it's marketing still, so it doesn't even matter. See, I'm going to solve my problem with marketing. That's true. So you could go door to door, right? And knock on doors and tell people your services, but that's still you're still marketing yourself. So you have to account for that. And here's something that's really important too. On the marketing, when you do your 1 through 10, think about this as when you're marketing, what is the cost basis that you're going to use? So stupid mistakes I made. Sorry for anybody on here that does this stuff. I used radio advertising on local radio. And I used the Cadillac News, the paper. Those two things, dude, they almost killed me in the first 6 months because I was pouring money into both those things, praying to get leads out of them, and I was drowning because I had money going out and zero revenue coming in. I think I've talked about this on 2 weeks ago. So how did you guys, when you guys were doing your plumbing, how did you market?
Well, marketing has to fit the industry, and frankly, in our industry, a little newspaper ad just isn't going to bring the draw. With us, newspaper ads, and especially a telephone book ad. I think I paid for Yellow Pages one time. It paid for itself. I can't even tell you how many times over. I still get plumbing calls to this day. It has not been a company in 10 years. It's pretty outrageous. But every once in a while, I do still get a plumbing call, and I just put on my belt and say, all right, let's go do this. I refer them to somebody who knows how to do it.
Do you get a commission off it?
No, I don't do anything like that.
You know, it's better than every sale. There's a form of commission generated by it, and I'm gonna touch on this. So rather than getting dollars, right? If I refer media or somebody that needs marketing to Mike Meeker here, I wouldn't want him to compensate me in dollars because I know Meeker has a skill set that I don't have, and so one day I'm just really gonna use him and need him, and then I expect him not to bill me for it. One hand washes the other, right?
We could get pretty deep into that because that's actually a business practice.
Oh, yeah.
But depending on what you're doing, that can still be a taxable event. Just letting you know.
Jesus. But as you start to do more and as you start to do better and make more money, that's when you can start implementing that. Like, because a lot of times, you ever meet, again, if you get mad at me, it's because you're in this situation. You ever meet a really, really broke person that, like, for them to, like, you say, hey, you have a friend that's really broke. You say, hey, can you come over and help me hang up trim in my house? And they expect you to pay them like $50 for doing it, right? Instead of just coming over and helping you as a friend. But what I'm getting at is, like, people just feel, a lot of people, I'm going to get in trouble, but a lot of people, especially people that have been on state assistance and on Medicaid their whole life, not everybody, all right, but a lot of people, they're so used to getting shit handed to them for free that they feel that anything they do, they are entitled to something.
I could see.
And so, and again, I might get some hate for this, but it's the way I feel, and so that's all right. If I didn't do the podcast and I changed who I was, then I wouldn't be. Right? And so, just my opinion. But when you start to do more and do better and grow your company and your business, you help people out of the fact that you know down the line you don't need the money. The money isn't as important, and you know that they'll come and help you at a later date. And that, in turn, is a commission, right? If I help Meeker and I don't get anything out of it, and 6 months later he comes and helps me, that is a commission for me helping him prior, right? There's a book called, a lot of people, you know what I mean, back and forth, whether you like Grant Cardone or you don't, he's pretty intense. But he has a book called Sell or Be Sold. Jesus.
Which one?
He's got a lot of books. He's got a book called Sell or Be Sold, and they talk about how selling is a way of life. I truly believe, again, that selling should be taught, a form of selling should be taught in schools, or negotiating or anything like that. It's a very important fundamental. And Think and Grow Rich as well. Napoleon Hill on Think and Grow Rich, he talks about how goal setting and sales should have a feature in schools, its own class in schools. And I think that's important, right? I'm going to get off on a tangent here.
There's a lot of things that need to be taught in schools that they're just not teaching. Basic life skills. Change a tire, change your oil. That's important. Balance your checkbook.
That's what CTC is for, right? That's what CTC is for. So marketing is extremely important. You have to do it. Abby said something on here as far as paper ads are useless in our industry. I agree. Paper ads are useless in our industry, but that's because, you know what I mean, we do a lot of cold calling, Abby, and then after we cold call for a year or two, we generate referrals from doing a good job, having our service, and then we don't have to really worry about, you know, people come to us, which makes it really nice. In some industries, the paper can, you know, it can work. Have I had an instance where it has? No. You know, we ran S&R ads in the Cadillac paper for 3 winters in a row, and I think we got 1 snowplow job off it. You know, kind of rough.
I had way more luck with Yellow Pages than I ever did with Cadillac paper. Nothing against Cadillac paper.
Right.
Just
I haven't picked up a phone book in almost 7 years. And so for me, like, I'd pay for a Google ad more than over
right.
a phone book any day of the week. Or I'll just pay Mike Meeker down here, Ugly Badger, to run some.
You want to be high up on those search results.
And Mike Meeker from Ugly Badger will get you there.
If Ugly Badger had been around when No Problem Plumbing was around.
Right. No Problem Plumbing. There you go. Yeah, that's nice. That's a good name. That's catchy. So
I still have the DBA.
Yeah. So here's we'll move on to the next one. The next one that we're going to touch on is the capital to start up. People get this one way fucked up. All right. So before I dive into it, I want you to take the lead on this one. What do you think capital to start up should look like, and where do you think having a lot of capital can be good, and where do you think having a lot of capital can be bad?
The only way I can see having a lot of capital for your startup being bad is if you've just garnered too much money from investors. and you've got nothing to do with it. Or, God forbid, you're just blowing it all on dumb shit. I mean, imagine a big, lavish office, then you do not have the revenue to back it up. Otherwise, I mean, it's important, but it depends on the industry you're in. So I keep going back to the plumbing thing, but as far as plumbing,
Well, that's
we
what you
started
knew.
that on a shoestring.
Right.
You collect half the money down for the job, go and buy the parts you need. Hopefully you have the tools, borrow tools, do whatever you have to do to get them. Outside of stealing, of course. Do whatever you have to do to get the job done, because that's the name of the game. You get the rest of your payment and on to the next one. Put your profits into expanding your business and take as little as you can in the beginning. And capital is obviously it's one of the most important things, one of the top 8.
I agree with you. Now let me give you my spin on it, okay? I think that's a very good point, Cody. I agree. Having capital, Cody says having capital is bad, especially when you don't stick to the plan. That's important. So let me give you a couple of different examples.
Discipline should be on here.
Discipline. Yeah, discipline should be on there. And so let me give you a couple points. I think I would rather start a business with the least amount of capital possible, the bare bones fucking minimum, because you're going to learn a lot of things that you didn't learn with a lot of capital. I'm going to dive into this a little more. So we're starting one of my companies right now. We're in the works of starting them. I'm not going to disclose any of it to you guys. And that company is starting up with about $30,000. Now, some people might say, oh, $30,000 is a lot of money. For what we're doing, it's not a lot of money. It's actually a ridiculously small amount of money. But what we're doing, because we have such little money, is we have to know a lot about the industry and how it's going to go prior to getting into that industry. If I had 200 grand or 300 grand and I opened this up, I would probably hire everybody I needed, have the building, hire everybody, and have a training system with no actually working system yet. I would start it all up front, and I would have them learn on the fly as they go, right? Because I have enough money to wait a little while. The opposite of that, what I'm talking about, is when you don't have that money for that stuff, you start with one person, and then you have them put all the practices into place prior to doing it, and then as they learn the practices, learn the system, and create a good system. Systems should be on here as well, but systems come, I guess, with execution and plan. We'll go. I digress. So, but as you get good systems and understand it, you can continue to grow with the money. Reinvesting is extremely important. Reinvesting what you make into the company is extremely important. But I think that you can get too lavish. It's easy to say, so we're in Ugly Badger's facility right now, and it's easy to say, all right, we do marketing. Let's go get this office space, and let's get all these bills, and let's hire all these employees with no revenue coming in yet because we had a good startup. When you don't have that money, you need income coming in right away. And so it makes you learn the system that you're going to have to pass on to new people. There's a couple other examples that we could use for it. I think if you get a lot of capital in starting up, you have to be very, very disciplined. And more importantly, you have to have good, if not great, fucking amazing mentors. Because if you do dumb shit with that money, here's the worst part. After you spend it, the shit is gone, right? Like once you spend that money, if you don't have income coming in, it is gone. And if you spend all that money and you have a that's even $1,500, it's stupid. If you have a $4,500 payment on your space because you have a big space, dude, $4,500 is a shit ton of money when you don't have $100, right? And so you have to be very, very careful and very, very disciplined. And so that's where I think having too much capital can be dangerous. I'd rather start with the least amount of capital possible. Now,
I think it breeds laziness. You're not going to
It
have a
does breed
streamlined
laziness.
system. You're not going to have the checks and balances that you would normally. You're not going to be as good at trimming the fat. And you see this a lot in big companies where you or I could probably walk through one of these production facilities and see a million places where they could trim back some money one way or another. They don't think about that. They're looking at the bigger dollar signs on the other end of the spectrum.
right.
But all those little dollar signs add up. The difference being that they're a great big company, they can eat a little bit of that loss. Whereas your little startup company, that little bit of loss is going to equate to a big loss very quickly.
They had a thing that we saw. This is I'm getting off on the capital startup, but a lot of companies did this in the early 2000s, the late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of companies, what they would do is they would charge you $4.95 or $9.95. And somebody decided to go, instead of $4.95, let's do $4.99 or $5.99. And this happened right, like I said, end of the 90s, beginning of the 2000s. So it's been around. So like to us, it's just second nature now. Like it's just $4.99. That's what shit is. But for the industries that did that, that 4 cents, that margin, that 4-cent margin on all their products nationwide made them fucking millions of dollars in revenue.
Yeah, to us, it's just 4 cents.
And to us, it's just 4 cents per person, right? It's just 4 cents, not that big of a deal. But it's crazy when you think about that, because when you're the big entity, when you're the overall entity, it makes massive, massive differences. Think about that in kind of reverse psychology, just what you're talking about. There's areas that when you have so much capital that you don't think about trimming the fat right away, and those areas are important. So what I would tell you to do on business startup, if you guys are looking to start a business up, is make sure you go through these 8 things. Make sure you know them really well. But on your business plan and on your marketing plan, get a really good idea of what it's going to cost. For instance, the example was used the other day. I was talking about capital startup. Somebody told me, man, but Ryan, we need $10,000 for our website. And I said, bullshit, you need $10,000 for your website. You ain't need, I don't care what, you know what I mean? Like I know Ugly Badger. I know you keep plugging guys, but that's what you do. You build websites and market. So these guys can build a good website for half that cost, depending on what you do, right? Depending on what you do, but a decent website for a company for half that cost. And the reality is my very first site, my very, very, very first site, SNR Outdoor Services, it's mobile friendly, which was good. And it didn't rank very high on Google. I think that was our big thing, but we paid $600 for that site. And that was like, dude, that was my last $600. Like that was, I probably had to pull money out of my shoebox for that $600 that we put in that site, but it got us up and it got us running. And then once we started making more, we've never generated one lead off it, by the way. But once we started making, Rob comes, I start talking about websites. But once we start making more money on that company, then we can upgrade and go to someone, go to people that have a reputation like Ugly Badger and say, hey, here's $4 or $5 grand. Now let's build a better website. You know what I mean? And again, that's all relative, guys. I sell firewood. If you have some big e-commerce page, your website's going to cost 10 grand or 20 grand. But I don't, each industry is different. So what I'm saying is get your due diligence done, get your knowledge in, know what shit's going to cost, and don't be naive about it. I said this 2 weeks ago, whatever you think the cost is going to be, double it, right? If you think you're going to need 10 grand to start, just assume you need 20 grand. If you think you're going to need 20, just assume 40 grand. And then I go on to contradict myself by saying, but use as little as possible to start up your business, because I believe that hard work and dedication and hard times in business lead to you being more appreciative of your business, right?
I agree with that.
I think, well, I won't dive into that. I have an opinion on something, but my opinion will be left in my head. All right, so capital startup. Don't be naive of what it's going to take, guys. Have a good idea. If you don't know, a lot of these people too, I'm going to end on capital startup on this. A lot of people will say, we'll just figure it out when we get there. I don't know. I have a person that I'm in business with that will message me. He's not local. He's out of even though you can get on Google and find the answer, or make one phone call and find the answer. But he'll call me or text me every single time he has a question, and then it'll be a series of questions. It won't be one. It'll be like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. And then you know what I do? I Google the damn answers, or call on the answers, and I call him back with the answers. And the reality is if you weren't fucking lazy, you just do it. You know what I mean? You just do it and take care of it. I do it all the time. I say, April, you know what I mean? While you're up, you give me a glass of scotch. Wash your hands first before you touch the ice. I don't want your nasty hands touching the ice. Get the fuck up. Get your own glass of scotch. You know what I mean?
Google has really changed the world, man. You can't ask somebody a question anymore.
Right.
That's their automatic response. Well, go fucking Google it.
Yeah, go Google it, man. It's worth a Google.
You don't have to know anything anymore.
It's worth a Google. What is that, Zach Galifianakis?
Yeah, it's worth a Google.
It's worth a Google. All right, so execution of plan. We're going to touch on execution of plan. This is really, really important. This has to do with what we're talking about. Just Google it, figure it out. Instead of wanting somebody to give you the answer, take initiative and find the answer. even on little shit like that, you'll be more appreciative of the answer. But execution of plan, one, don't be scared to tell people what your plan is. You need people. You need marketers. You need salespeople. You need mentors. You need people that are going to keep you your grammar in check, right? I use Jamie like a dirty whore. I really do. He is my grammar Nazi. I make him, not always, but sometimes before like the post I did earlier, you like that?
This is my whore and my Nazi.
Right. Right. What's that? So, but my bad. That was a bit drastic. But what I was getting at on here is that what was that?
My Halloween costume this year is Nazi horror. It's funny. You hit that right on the head.
My bad. My bad. All right. But, so we did a post earlier on Paradigm Shift, and on the Paradigm Shift post, we got lag going bad here. I don't know if everybody else has that, but I noticed it on both our phones. I don't know what he's doing out there. You messing our stuff up? So, anyways, but I did a Paradigm Shift post earlier, and in the Paradigm Shift post, I made Jamie proof it. Because I don't want to I got bad grammar, guys. I'm dyslexic as shit. And so if I'm dyslexic and I have bad grammar, you're going to just assume that Paradigm Shift is a shifty place because we don't have good grammar. So I have people like Jamie back me up on the grammar and what we're doing. And so don't be afraid of that. But then also another part of that, you guys are frozen. The background is still moving. See, I wonder what's going on there.
Technical difficulties.
I think, you know what I saw him do? Terrible lag. It just happened, guys. Bear with us for a moment here. I saw this light go on and off like 2 or 3 times. I bet you Rob's up there trying to take pictures or something. Bear with us. Bear with us. Rob's messing with shit he shouldn't be messing with.
Gotta love how we're frozen on there, though.
I know. We look good. We look good.
I look like I want to hit you.
You do. You look like you want to hit me.
I do.
I agree with that.
I do a little bit.
I agree with
It
that.
really shows.
I wonder what happened to our lag. Our internet connection must have went down.
Yeah, well.
The background
we
is still
do love
moving.
try to- Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
Yeah, Rob, get your
But-
shit together.
Then again, it's got to be something with the camera. Somebody bump a cord.
No, I don't know. See that light? See that white light right there? It kept coming on and off, and I thought he was taking pictures or something. Oh, snap. We disappeared.
Oh,
We disappeared. And we're back. And we're back. See what happened? I don't even get how that stuff happens. And we're live.
We have the team.
All right. So, guys, we have a little bit of technical difficulties. I apologize about that. Don't mind us, aimlessly talking while Rob was fixing that problem. Was it you, Mike, or was it Rob? Who fixed it? All right.
It doesn't even matter. I'd take the credit, too.
But so on actually, let me get back to this execution of plan. Don't get hung up on telling people your plan. You need people there to help you achieve your plan. But execution of plan is massive action. You have to be taking action. Anytime you're not taking steps forward, or anytime that you stop making steps forward, you're instantly moving back. Right? If you're not gaining ground, you're instantly losing ground. What do you think about execution plan?
I have to say I agree with that, for sure. Because while not getting your name out there is a bad thing, obviously, like most businesses fail because of obscurity. It's not pushing forward and not gaining anything more for yourself is the second. It's got to be number 2. Would you say that? Complacency. It kills a lot of businesses because they think they found this perfect way of doing things and they're not willing to adapt, and maybe that's even skipping a little bit. That's ability to track and adjust.
Ability to track and adjust, right. Yeah. So what I'll say on here is there's Damon John has a thing, and it's ready, aim, or ready, fire, aim. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. It's ready, fire, aim. What he means by that is most people take way too much time trying to dot their I's and cross their T's and go over what logo looks better and how they're going to achieve their plan and what action they need to take. And they talk and they talk and they talk and they talk and they talk. And then what happens is you never fucking take action. And me, I'm the opposite. I told Rob this the other day. We're looking over logos for Jatango right now, updating our logos. And I said, man, I don't want to look at 150 logos. Let's pick the one that we like out of these 40 that you made, and that's the one we're going with. And let's move on to something else. Down the line, if we find something that looks good, then we'll use it. But, Rob's our, marketing guy for this, and he goes, there's logistics and colors and da 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 da, and red's worse than blue, and green is good. And I get all that. But I'm the take action guy, right? You hear me say this all the time. We got it out of the 10X rule, but I live my entire life by this, and so, you know what I mean? Like, I take it as my own shit, but I commit first and figure it out later, right? I commit first to what I'm doing. I take massive fucking action, and I figure it out as we're going. And I like to use an S&R story when we do that. We got a state job out in the middle of nowhere in Coatmish, and it was like 30 miles into the woods. It was down these muddy trails, and we landed the bid. I think we got it for like $800 or something like that. And we get this bid, and I get the call that I got it, and I go, I don't know if you're in the office there. How the fuck are we gonna do this? I remember that. I remember that well. Yeah, I don't even got a portable washing crew. I got a power washer and a truck and a trailer.
That almost there.
Almost there. That's what I thought. So you know what I did? A lot of people, he doesn't like me talking about him too much, but you know the first thing I did? Call Matt Gunnarsson. I said, Matt, dude, I'm in a pickle. Because he's been in business a long time. You know what I mean? He's made it. He's doing really, really well. And he's got through a lot of pickles, right? Rocks and hard places. He's got through them. And so I said, what do I do? And we come up with a plan together, and he helped me achieve the plan. What happened is they got these old milk jug crates thing. They're 300 gallons a piece, or 300 or 400 gallons a piece. They're massive. They're these big plastic bins, and they come in metal framed in pieces. Oh, yeah. And we got adapters for them for garden hoses, and we had them picked up a little bit on the trailer, and so there was so much water, it gravity fed into the power washer. And then my power washer scared me. It says it uses like 10 gallons every 3 minutes. I was like, holy shit, dude. It doesn't. The reality is they don't use anywhere near that. But so we had no clue how we were going to come up with this and how we were going to do this. Matt helped us out, right? We committed first. I call my secret guy, Matt Gunner. I call him for almost everything. And he helped me figure it out. And then we purchased all the stuff. So now we know next time we get a job like that, we can go out and do it. But guys, if I would have sat there with my thumb in my ass and said, let me call you back. I got to figure out how I can do this after they had me on the phone. They probably would have just called the next guy that put in a bid because I didn't know what I was doing. I said, yep, got it. Yep, we'll be there. Wednesday morning, yep, we're there. Smiling the whole time. It was like Friday afternoon. Hang up and like, oh shit. I don't know how we're going to do this one.
So commit first and have Bruce Wayne on speed dial.
Yeah, and have Bruce Wayne on speed dial. And so, but that's really important. And here's another thing too is when we talk about, we're gonna migrate in. So execution of a plan, you guys get that. You have to be taking action. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Nope.
All right, ability to you can. I want you to add, right? I want you to add. I'm asking him questions.
You're on fire. I don't want to get in the way.
To get his feedback.
I'm enjoying my beer.
So here's another good statistics, real quick. Because ready, fire, aim is a phenomenal strategy to use. It's just like commit first, figure it out later. 8 out of 10 new businesses fail within the first 18 months of opening. That's a national statistic. That's not a state of Michigan. 8 out of every 10 new businesses fail and shut down in the first 18 months. That means that, guys, that you have to have these things in order. You have to have all these marks, because if you don't, you're going to be one of those 8. And I don't want you to be. I want you to start your own company up. I want you to be massively successful. I want you to fail along the way to learn from your mistakes. But I want you to learn. That's what we're trying to teach you guys. Implement something. I had some guy the other day on when I said, get a real fucking job and get a real job and stop giving your I don't know what he said.
Stop shilling your platitudes, something along those lines. Yeah. Well, I mean, really, it was pretty good word for him.
Right. And he goes, stop trying to sell people your shit. Here's the thing, guys, is we get nothing from this. We really don't. We don't. We do very, very well. We don't get any proceeds. This doesn't make us any money. We do this to help you guys out. So when we're going through these bullet points, what I like about it, so I do it for you guys. Jamie comes out and does it for you guys. Everybody we have on every week tell their story for you guys. But what I love about it is it makes me in a situation where I have to continue educating myself to share shit with you guys. I always have to be, I love educating myself as well, but a while back I got in a rut where I didn't read a book for like a month, and that's 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 pretty rare for me. And so I didn't read a book for like a month. I wasn't listening to Tony Robbins. I wasn't listening to Grant Cardone. I was off, man. And I could tell in my business, it was like 6 months ago I did this. But I had to realize like I was in a rut. I had to get myself back on track. And once I got myself back on track, I realized it instantly. Like, why haven't I been doing this stuff? And so by doing this podcast, it's for you, right? It's for you. I want you to learn more, but it's really for me too, because I always have to be upping my game to teach you guys something. And I hope that every week you guys are learning, getting value from it. So moving on to ability to track and adjust. I want to hit on this. People on here might be familiar with the term OPM, right? When I say OPM, do you know what that means?
I don't.
Other people's money. And that's what I've always used it, other people's money, right? And Damon John says, don't lock yourself in this spot that just says OPM, other people's money. Think about this. Other people's marketing, right? You need people for that. You don't know that. Other people's manpower. You need people for that. People that have resources to it. Other people's mind power, right? That have a good mindset. And then the most important one that people do not listen to. Let me say this. Younger people do not listen to. I run in this all the time. Other people's mistakes. When people have mistakes, the biggest reason you want a mentor is to help them guide you, right? The biggest thing that I tell you or tell people is when I've been through mistakes, I tell you because I want you to learn from my failure, right? I want you to learn from where I fucked up so you don't have to. A lot of people, and I was young once too, mainly younger folks, older folks do it too. A lot of people will take your advice, with a grain of salt, and plow their way through life, which is fine. Life will fucking teach you. And so after you make mistake after mistake after mistake, you realize, man, that sucks. Like I'm learning, but I'm learning a really hard way. And now I'm 28 years old. And I tell you what, when a mentor of mine, mainly, the people we watch on online, on YouTube, when a mentor of mine says, you shouldn't do this, there's like a 99% chance I'm not going to do that anymore because I'm sick of life beating me up, right?
Well, a lot of people need that. They just they can't take your word for it. Okay, the plate is hot. That's great, but I'm going to touch that
I'm gonna
plate
touch the
because
plate.
I need to know what you think hot is.
Right. Right.
Oh, man.
I'm doing good
You'll be all
because
right. You're doing really well.
Yeah, it was bad
You
before
barely
we started
taken a
this.
breath in the last 20 minutes.
I know I did.
But there's a lot of value in that, and it's not just the young people; it's the old folks too, older folks. I don't want to be rude here, but younger people, it's like they come into this world with a chip on their shoulder, and you get to a point, and we were all there, when you think I know everything. I went to school. I know all these things. Your knowledge is all outdated, and I'm the new fresh hotness. And it seems on the other end of the spectrum, you have these folks who have attained this world of knowledge and this lifetime of experience, but the whole time, their whole trip, they've been narrowing their perspective the entire time, and they're not open to innovation and new ideas.
No.
So it's rare to find people who are really open.
I agree with that. Here's another one too: ability to track and adjust. You need to know on these. What Meeker does, it's crazy to see some of his spreadsheets. They blow my mind when I see him because he tracks every single dime within your company, right? You know where every ounce of everything is going. And this is an area I can work on. There's a reason why I partnered with Mark Gleason on a couple of my companies is because his ability to track is insane. And mine is not that good. I hire somebody for it. Her name's Jennifer Songer. She tracks all my shit. And so she tries to. She tries to track all my stuff. You like that? Anyways, she does a good job. But if you're able to track it, if numbers don't lie, guys, that's the biggest thing that I love. I say I'm a numbers person. I don't like to track the numbers, but if you track the numbers, if you have them in front of you, numbers don't lie. Like, oh, I did awesome with your investments. You made 2% this year. Doesn't sound like you did. Like, what'd the market look like? If the market was good, you did a really shitty job.
Let's not look at that, though. You made 2% this year.
But you made 2% this year, right? And so what I'm getting at is you. The ability to track is important because numbers don't lie. If you're losing money every single month, guys, you have to track that. You have to know. With S&R, I'm very, very, I take accountability for this. I never tracked anything. And so our first year in S&R, I knew I lost about $24,000. I lost about 24,000. My second year tracking it, or my first year tracking it, my second year with SNR, we started watching where money was going and what we were doing with it, and where, like, what it was going towards directly and how that was affecting our company, if it was good or bad. And we made those adjustments, and I'm not going to tell you we've made a ton of money, but I can tell you we're not losing any money right now at all. And it has to do with the ability to track and adjust what we're doing, right? You have those, this is an example. I used to be one of these people 5 years ago for sure. You have the people that you get a bill in the mail and you throw it away. So if you throw it away, the bill don't exist anymore.
I still do that now.
Right. So like
once in a while.
Right.
Later.
Right. And so you throw it away and the bill doesn't exist anymore. And a lot of people do this with like easy stuff. I'll give you a good example. What I did it with. All right. I got a DUI. My DUI was in 2013. I'm not proud of the DUI. I learned from it. It was a growing moment for me. It was about 5 years ago, right when I started really getting my shit together. And that DUI, I put off my state of Michigan. They gave me a bunch of fees for it. I owed like $7,000. And I was just like, okay, I don't care, right? And what happens is, one, they don't let you get your license back unless you pay it. And then two, they keep accruing fees and stuff on top of it because you're not taking care of it. And by the time you're in a situation like now, I got to take care of it, it's all done. But when you're finally in a position to take care of it, it's not a little molehill anymore. It's a mountain of things you have to take care of. And it's like that with a lot of stuff. And so you have to, you know what I mean, take ability. And I think adjust has to do with failing, right? I want you to fail often and very, very quickly. And I want you to learn from it, right? I want you to fail, learn, repeat. Because if you're not doing that, guys, if you're not running into new problems, you're not growing. Now, you can run into problems all the time. If you're running into the same problems over and over and over and over again, there's an issue there. We need to talk about it.
Don't keep touching the hot plate.
Right. Don't keep touching the hot plate.
Get
exactly.
a pot holder.
Right. That's exactly right. But if you're running into new problems every single day, then you're growing. There's Mondays. Mondays are the biggest ones. There's Mondays where I am just beat the fuck up, dude. Just beat up. And then you have to think about it like, what is the worst thing that I can complain about right now? That I had 18 problems before breakfast that I had to solve? That means I'm growing. That means shit's going good. And so a lot of people like to sit on their couch and you know what I mean, avoid stuff and no problems, no worries, Hakuna Matata, you know what I mean? Like, but the reality, it is a wonderful phrase. I love it. But the reality is, guys, is that's not fucking life. We live in No, I'm not finishing the song. But we live in reality, guys, and life doesn't stop because you do. And I need you to know that. Life doesn't stop because you do.
I think you've got a point with the flashing light.
Dude, I told you. All right, hang on. Rob keeps messing with shit.
And once in a while, the camera's just like, "Hey guys, fuck you."
Yeah. We're paused again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fire Rob.
Now, and I wonder that is all of this still in the broadcast?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Well, I'm not gonna pick
She said
notes
she
or
could
anything then.
hear it. There you go. They're resetting it right now. We're good.
Yeah.
And we're back. I don't know what that is. We'll
Much
get that.
better one this time.
We'll get that figured out. I promise by next week.
Track and adjust.
Track and adjust. Right.
Hakuna
Track and
Matata.
adjust. Look at track and adjust. And then you counter me with Hakuna Matata. That's nice. All right, guys. Let's hit on our very last thing for today. Very last thing is mentors. Mentors are extreme. What is that? What's doing that? Do you know?
One of the USBs has a loose connection.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to mess with it too much.
Yeah, not why we're doing this.
One chord can bring it all down.
Richard, I see your message coming in. I can't read it, brother. I'm sorry.
I got nothing.
No, he messaged me on Facebook.
Okay.
So, anyways, let's talk about mentors. Mentors are extremely, extremely important. This is our last little subject we're going to talk on. But I think mentors is one of the hardest things that I ever had to deal with. Being in a business startup where I thought I had a couple mentors, and they never really panned out. You can have people that come in and they're in your life for a while and then they leave and then you're like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? They really helped me and now what I'm going to do without them. Or they didn't really help you and it's good that they're out of your life. But how was your thing with your plumbing? Did you have a mentor to help you get through that?
Well, kind of. I mean, my partner at the time was kind of my mentor at the time. He was a little bit older than I was. Obviously, he'd done it before. He had a long-standing history in it, so I learned a lot from him. I also learned a lot about what not to do and what behaviors I wanted to avoid. And I treat every relationship that way. There are a lot of people out there I can learn a lot from, and there are a lot of people who can learn a lot from me too. But there are a lot of qualities I have that I wouldn't want to share with everyone because nobody's perfect here.
Right.
So you just have to take everything with a grain of salt. No one's perfect. You want to try to find if you can have a good mentor that can teach you the ins and outs of everything, and you can just trust them implicitly. That's amazing. But that's a 1 in a million.
Yeah.
You've got to be smart about it. You have to pick
You're
and
welcome.
choose.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah, it's definitely you, buddy. Perfection personified, right?
Oh, geez, I just pick it on you. But here's the thing too: is that what we talk about this is that in Keystone when we started. Ooh, I'm getting a phone call. In Keystone when we started, I had to pour a lot into you to teach you to get you up to speed where you're at and mentor you in that space. And now you are working with like Jared and Mike and Candy and helping them grow in their space. And so you pass it on. Like once you go through that stage, you want to continue to. Part of the gratification, right, is me seeing you becoming successful, like making good money. And then you, as you start to work with like Jared, right? Jared's been with us for almost a year. His first year was tough. He had to work real hard, but he's starting to do pretty well. And it's gratifying to see that, right? It's really, really nice to see people
it's
make
nice
money.
to watch people learn and grow and know that you had a hand in it.
Right.
I mean, it's self-serving a little bit, but at the same time, it's selfless at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No,
really.
I agree.
But and that's kind of how it's been. Like I take a certain amount of pride when I can help the agents and help them grow and prosper, and it's neat.
So Cody Woodring, I have to address this really quick. He said, "The hell with all the wisdom." You shouldn't say that. That's mean. I drop bombs over here. But load the sled. We're going north. I tell you what, Cody. Right now, my sled is ready to go, and I have nothing on the schedule for tomorrow because I thought I was going to go pick up my buddy Mike, and he's actually driving back Friday. So if I can be back by Wednesday late night, Thursday early morning, we can go riding up north all day tomorrow. My wife's going to be thrilled about that. I'm just saying, we can do it. I think it is important, but also like if you get off kilter, right? If you get like let's say you get off and you're going down a rough path, or you're having a hard spot. Like having a mentor is somebody that helps you get through that, right? Helps you, maybe if you don't realize it, helps you realize it. Oh, the fuck you will, April says. She's on that shit quick. Cody, hurry up. Go get my sled. Let's go. Sorry, I'm thrown off now by all this. But you can get back on kilter, help get back on schedule, and then work through. You're not going through anything. You're growing through everything, right? Every situation you're growing through, and I think that's extremely important. Hey, don't be siding with April on here. I don't. Yeah. No. Yeah, April's gonna kick your ass. It's fine though. You know where my sled's at. Next level, 180 works out. Just go pick it up. We'll go.
You know what? I can even say even the people that I have hand to hand in mentoring had a hand in mentoring. Even those people, when I'm having an off time, like I don't necessarily look to you, but if I'm having a rough week or my attitude's just not quite where it is, I can look at somebody like Jared and it'll set my shit straight right away to know that he's in there grinding, working hard, doing everything he can, and it gives you perspective.
Right. I got Virgin Mobile. Richard Virgin Mobile.
Oh, geez, I cannot think of his name.
No one's
Nothing. One of the richest guys in the world.
I would say it's
Pretty
Richard.
much jet sets around surfing everywhere.
Richard something. Anyways, he says, he has a quote. He said, "No matter how smart you think you are, you need a mentor." Like that's the end of the story. It doesn't matter how smart you think you are. It doesn't matter what you think you know. Listen, OPM, other people's money, actually means other people's marketing, other people's manpower, other people's mindset, other people's mistake. You need mentors, guys. You need mentors. If you don't have mentors, all right. I love to mentor people. I kind of pride myself on being able to mentor people. But me aside, fuck me, right? Use the mediums you have available on a daily basis to you. My biggest mentor, and I mentioned this 2 weeks ago, is YouTube, right? Watching Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Zig Ziglar, watching these powerhouse people, Branson, there you go, Richard Branson, And so watching these powerhouse people, Elon Musk, these people are tyrants in their industry. Michael Jordan, and not only they're tyrants in their industry, but they've put in the work, right? These people didn't just make it. They just didn't have shit handed to them. They put in the fucking work every day, every night, all the time in order to achieve the things they've achieved. And they're all over YouTube. You have access to them. Make sure you're using them. And so, you have anything to put on Mentors?
Mentors, it's great.
It's great.
Yeah, that's what I have to add. It's great.
It's great.
No, well, mentors are important, and all these guys you mentioned, they all climbed and struggled to get where they are, and they all give back. And you do the same thing. You want to see others succeed just like they want to see others succeed. All these guys run phenomenal companies that have great setups for their employees too, and so that's important. You can tell the difference in a office culture when you're in a place where employees are cared for, where they have mentorship, and a place where they're just thrown to the wolves or they're just a number. I've worked in some of those places where you're just a number. That shit sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. So I tell you what, I appreciate you tuning in. We had the highlights up here, for the entire podcast. I want to make sure. I know that stating this is very unlikely, but if you get a chance, if something really, really connects with you, make sure that you take some notes on it, man. Have a pen and paper on the side. We're going to, like the last 2 weeks that we've done, we're going to continue just raining down information on you. Not so much just talking about our opinions and what we think, but I want there to be tangible value that you can take and implement tomorrow from our podcast. I'm dying here. From our podcast. And make you more successful. And I believe that we can absolutely do that. So keep doing it. Next Monday, or next week on the podcast, normally we do every Tuesday at 7. Next week we are coming to you Monday at 7 o'clock. I'll have Eric Podbilski on here. He owns Greater North Tree Services. And that's about it, guys. That's about it. You got anything else?
I would say if you guys have questions or comments, anything you want to see on the show, any topics you'd like us to address, send us. Right on Facebook, it's easy as hell. Send us messages. Comment on this post. Whatever you want to do. We're open.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon. We'll see you next Monday. God bless.
Peace.